What's good, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of the Power 2 podcast presented by Get Defensive Sports Network.
Period.
DJ out here texting, as always. I'm your host, Jordan. I'm here with my co-host, DJ and Dante.
Oh, I'm so glad everybody's just so entertained. That was actually the text that Jordan sent. That's what that dinging was.
There ain't no way, because I didn't...
I have the reminder on my phone where it dings after 2 minutes. Yes, I know.
Oh,
that is a thing.
Sometimes a girl needs to be reminded.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yes, because sometimes I'll be forgetting, especially with my job.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Negro.
All right. Well, how was I supposed to know? I didn't even know that was possible. Just doing things. Look at you, being an adult.
I try. I am 870 dog years old. Anywho, how's everybody doing? Why do you look
breathing.
confused? She's like, now I need to calculate how many dog years.
Dante, bro, every time you try to do something, you get out the camera. You spend half the podcast looking at the top of your head.
Hey, bro, look. I can't. This is the best I got right now. This is the best.
He said, listen, when you lay your head on that pillow at night, just know I gave you all I got.
I gave you all I got. I gave you all I got.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Oh. All right. Well,
Anyways.
we're here podcasting as we do. So let's get into it, because nobody wants to talk about their day, it seems. So I guess we'll talk about the thing that we're here for.
It's
sports.
October.
That was Garrett. Just broke the record for the most sacks under 30. And I would like to say two things about this. One, hold on, let me Google the number. I believe it's 110.5. But he had so many sacks today that there's a chance that the graphic I saw was before the game ended. So he may have more than that. The graphic that I saw said he had 110.5. He passed Reggie White. Reggie White, they played the...
112.5 now.
Yeah, okay, so this was before he racked up multiple sacks, because he had 5 sacks today, and they got blown out. They lost by like 18 points, so that's gross. But yeah, he has 112.5 sacks.
Wait, he had 5 sacks and the Browns got blown out?
He had 5 by 18, yeah.
Sounds about right.
He's just playing for the love of the game.
At this point.
For the love of the game. Oh, they played the Patriots.
He
has 112 and a half sacks.
He had a good game against a not so good team.
We are not doing this, especially because TJ Watt's about to play. Dante does not like Myles Garrett because he thinks TJ Watt's better, and no one cares about that.
Because he is.
Well,
because they're both going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was like, Myles Garrett is the youngest NFL player in history to get 100 sacks, so it's not like he's just like out there doing nothing.
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
So, anyways, 112 and a half passing Reggie White. And the only other thing that I have to say about this, I'm fine, and I have accepted being older than a lot of people, and I'm sure he's like 29 and a half. Like, I'm sure like we would have went to high school together. That's fine. I don't like being older than Myles Garrett.
Well, that's
Myles Garrett,
we can't do anything about.
Because he's not 30 yet, and we're all 30.
He'll be 30.
Are we not all 30? Why are you smacking your lips like we not all 30?
I just don't know why we needed to do that. I just don't know why we needed to.
I'm sure.
I just don't know why we needed to.
I know. That's what I just said. Like, I'm sure he's like 29 and a half. I'm sure it's coming, right? I'm sure we would have went to high school together, all that good stuff. But I still don't like being older than
He will literally be 30 in 2 months. He'll be 30 on December 29th, 1990. He was born December 29th, 1995. He will literally almost be 30.
Yeah, it still doesn't sit right with me. Being older than Myles Garrett,
he definitely graduated.
Something in my spirit is kind of crazy. Either way, shout out to Myles Garrett, most sacks. He is a surefire Hall of Famer, as is TJ Watt, but no one cares about that, Dante. You can watch him play in like 15 minutes.
Well, speaking of Hall of Famers,
wait. Dante, should he be a Hall of Famer? No, I'm just kidding. We do not need to get into Dante's who should be a Hall of Famer. She's talking about Chauncey Billups. That was her.
That was my segue.
I was trying to see if Dante was gonna get angry real quick. Anyway, sorry, DJ. What Hall of Famers did what? Hall of Famers did who?
Speaking of Hall of Famers, oh my gosh, the NBA is having a Hall of Fame start to its season. I'm crying. It's the Naismith Hall of Fame, so yes, I'm gonna get in at one point probably. Y'all, you ruined my segue. Anyways, speaking of Hall of Famers, we have had a Hall of Fame start to the NBA season. Obviously, the NBA season started this week. I am not one to watch the NBA from the beginning. That is just not the vibes for me. The season is too long. But I happened to tune in. You know, we got casually like a quick little double overtime game between KD and OKC on ring night in OKC. That was very interesting. And we saw SGA, you know, be the free throw merchant that he is. Anyway, that's not the point.
Going into overtime is
going into double overtime at that. That's
going to double overtime in 2 games straight.
Anyway, so while all of that is going on, I do believe the Miami Heat played on opening night. You know, the Portland Trailblazers played on opening night. And then, you know, after they got some sleep, some rest, the FBI was at Terry Rozier's and Chauncey Billups' hotel ready to arrest them for 2 different indictments on gambling. So this is a really, really like layered case. So I'm going to keep it short. There's 2 indictments right now. Chauncey Billups is in a way involved in both of them. And then Terry Rozier and Damon Jones are some other individuals who are sort of kind of involved in both of them. But one of the indictments is related to just illegal sports betting, just in general. Like Terry Rozier was working with individuals on the inside and basically letting them know like, hey, I'm going to leave this game early. And they would take all the unders on him and then make a whole bunch of money hand over fist.
Allegedly.
That was happening. Allegedly. And then the other thing that was happening was this very elaborate
what game that was.
We all do. The clips have come out. It is quite hilarious. The other situation that's going on is that there is like a 30-person poker game ring that was basically going on for years where Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, other individuals were luring people in to play these poker games with these NBA OGs. That was kind of how they were selling it and was saying like, yeah, let's come play poker, whatever. And they were having a very, very elaborate scheme where there were x-ray tables and special contacts and glasses and all these things so that way they could scam individuals out of their money via poker games. And they have stolen upwards of $7 million from their victims. The FBI has been studying this case particularly for about 4 years, and Cash Patel needs a win, so now they're being real diligent all of a sudden. And of course, because why wouldn't it be associated with the Mafia? About 15 of the individuals are people who are members of La Cosa Nostra, which is an Italian mafia group, and they were involved as well. So all of this news broke on the second day of the NBA season. Dante, how do we feel?
Well, I mean, it's several things, but like one of the first things is that from watching last season and a few seasons before, this is not a surprise because there have been people, and me included, where I'm like, somebody's point shading. Like when I watch Chauncey Billups, certain coaching decisions that are made, I'm like, there's certain things. I saw the thing with Terry Rozier. I saw that game live. I was watching that game, and I was like, this nigga's not this bad at basketball. Like I remember saying that out loud. I was like, this nigga's not that bad at basketball.
It was bad.
And then it hit me. I was like, sports bet? Wow. And then like there's like the thing is that the amount of sports organizations and in things of those natures that are sponsored by or in bed with sports betting companies it's almost like, what did you expect? The podcasters. These athletes are doing podcasts sponsored by Prize Picks or DraftKings and things like that. They're NBA content creators that I'm subscribed to on YouTubers. They have little segments in between their videos where they goes, here's to use my promo code for a prize pick this or some promo code that it's expected. I don't know what we were expecting. We should probably investigate the NFL. In my own heart of hearts, I'm sad because I've just thought about it. It just clicked me. We should probably look into the NFL. Some of the coaching decisions, It's ridiculous. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that this is happening. The one thing I'm just upset with is that the FBI is calling this a NBA scandal, and it's not. You have mafia members.
This is beyond the NBA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
this is beyond. They use NBA players as a means to get people in so they can rob them and things, because that was also supposed to be happening.
Which makes it an
but
NBA
this is not
scandal, because the Mafia was already doing that for years. It's like documented. So like,
for the FBI to call it an
the
NBA
only thing that's
thing,
different,
like they're trying to face it like an NBA.
Like the only thing that's
the
different
NBA,
between this and everything else the Mafia has done before
more
is
than
it
that.
involves the NBA.
Yeah, I know what
So
you mean.
it
It's not the
isn't-
league involved. Yeah. Well,
We should look into
so the
every
latest
sport.
news with that is that Congress has basically called for a report from Adam Silver as the commissioner of the NBA, because it has now come out that the NBA did do some investigating into Terry Rozier specifically, and they found him pretty much at no fault. They basically did an investigation because they allegedly knew about the sports betting, and then they said there was nothing going on, but now the FBI is saying that there is. So now the NBA, it kind of is an NBA scandal in the sense that like they're being implicated as potentially being complicit with it and negligent about it. So that's not looking too good for Adam Silver, if I'm being honest. But there's also allegedly. Absolutely, I agree.
Which brings me to my first of a couple of points. David Stern wouldn't have let this happen.
David Stern would never let this happen.
This is not a pro David Stern account. David Stern wouldn't have let that happen. Silver is
there was betting going on during his era. There was point shaving and betting.
Yeah,
and
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan for sure.
No,
yeah.
Not even just Scott Foster. Like not Scott Foster, but like I forgot that rest name. But like, you can't really say that because it happened. It happened in two different generations under his leadership.
Yeah.
This is just the worst.
I have a
This is the worst version of it.
This.
David Stern would have handled this a lot better. That's 100% correct. David Stern would a much better job. But it not happening under him, that's just not true. That's factually
Yeah, well,
not
I
true.
mean,
it would never happen this way under him.
Michael Jordan's dad got murdered under David Stern, so.
That's so
Hold on. You think I'm crazy? I'm not. You think I'm crazy? I'm not.
No,
first
it's
of all,
just the way you said it.
Not,
it's the way you said it. It's not what you said is not false. It's just
we do. It's fine. It's fine. I do want to say though, this is so big that they have Michael Francesi Jr. and Sammy the Bull Gravado on TV talking about it, and I think it's funny that every time Michael Francesi talks about sports betting, he specifically mentions Michael Jordan's name. Like I've seen it in multiple interviews on live TV. Every single time he talks, because he's done multiple things, like because people have talked about it before on his podcast, on news, on various things. Like one thing he like broke down how they get them to do it, which was interesting. Like he was talking, which makes sense, but he was basically talking about how they like lure them in and they give them a little bit of money here, there, until they get to a point where they're like, the only way to do it is to make them basically do this and all this other kind of stuff. But every single time this man specifically talks about sports betting, he always mentions Michael Jordan's name. Every time.
That's a mess.
And I just find it funny that my bad.
No, go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, I find it funny that ESPN had to, like, it's like reporting on this and has their own sports betting.
Listen.
And then they quietly took it off when they started talking about it.
Yeah, I know for an absolute fact. There's a video. I know for an absolute fact there's a video, an article, or something on their website that they talk about.
Brian Kelly was fired.
Yeah, the game tonight is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, well, I know, but I was just going to say, I know for an absolute fact there's a story, there's a video, there's something specifically about this scandal that when you go to, when it goes to commercial or the little ads pop up, it says sports betting. Like, because, you know, like they don't control the ads on each individual page. So there's a story right now about this scandal that specifically has ESPN betting ads, which is a totally different conversation that we can get back to in the offseason. But ESPN shouldn't be allowed to have a sports book. I know we've said this before,
no, I agree with that.
ESPN should not be allowed to have a sports book. That is fucking insane.
It can't be right. It can't be right. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Well, okay. Brian Kelly
you know what is or is not right? Brian Kelly's fired.
Brian Kelly was dismissed.
We've moved this multiple times up and down the show plan. because we didn't know where this was going to be.
Oh,
I would just like to pull up a story to talk about. Yeah,
LSU.
I would like to pull up a story to talk about why he got fired outside of being bad. But like this article dropped like right before we started recording, and I was going to talk about this because I didn't know if they were actually going to fire him. Essentially, because he's owed like $53 million. Essentially, he and the AD were talking today, and the AD was like, "Hey, dog, you got to fire some people, specifically your offensive coordinator, and Joe Sloan." And basically, the conversation just turned into a huge argument about who was getting fired, who Brian Kelly wanted to change, various changes like that. And it got so heated that essentially the AD was like, "All right, my boy, we can talk about we can talk about you not being here no more," which was already kind of on the table. But I think it's like we already sort of want to fire you, and then you gonna argue with me and go do all this back and forth about the changes you not gonna make on your staff. But I found out that this took so much longer because LSU doesn't have a president right now. And so they had to bring in the governor who like somehow had to maybe, but they decided to bring in the governor because this is dramatic. A $53 million deal at a public institution and they don't have a president to sign off on it. So I think it took longer because they had to bring in the governor and the board of directors and all this sort of stuff. And it seems like they weren't originally trying to fire him. It seems like they were having a conversation
trying to work with him
about staff changes and things like that. And he basically was like, "Nah, gang, like you're not going to tell me what to do with my staff." And I think the most interesting thing about him feeling that way, which is one, fucking insane, but he's also probably like, "You can fire me because you're going to give me this money and then I'm going to go get the Penn State, Florida, or someone else job."
Yeah.
True.
LSU is one of those teams where everyone wins a national championship. Their last 3 head coaches or 4 head coaches all won a national championship within 4 years. Like by their 4th year, Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron, Les Miles, and I can't remember if there's one in between or if it was just those 3 before him. All of them have won. No, it is their last 4. I just don't remember who the 4th guy is. All 4 of their coaches before Brian Kelly had won a national championship by their 4th year. 3 or 4, the number doesn't matter. By 4th year, they had all won a national championship. He's in his 4th year, and they're not even going to make the playoffs. And what's worse for him versus all of them, Nick Saban and Les Miles won their national championships in the BCS era where you had to be the first or second best team in the country to play. And Ed O won his in the 14 playoff. Brian Kelly has now missed the 14 playoff and when he had a Heisman winner who became the number 1 pick in the draft. I think he was number 1, maybe he was number 2, a top 3 pick in the draft in Jaden Daniels. And then you missed the 12-team playoff twice. So not only do they have these expectations because all of their coaches have basically won national championships immediately, you couldn't even make the 12-team playoff. Like they have 3 losses now with other teams on their schedule, so they're not making it this year. So I think that's sort of where it all went downhill. But he also didn't want to make staff changes or didn't like the conversation that they were having, and that led to him getting fired. It does seem like they didn't want to fire him
initially
necessarily. They wanted to give him a chance, which I get it. Like $53 million is the second highest buyout ever. But the good thing for them, not that I care because it's your money, you're the one trying to do this stuff, is his buyout has mitigation in it. So he has to make a good effort to get a job. And he's Brian fucking Kelly. He's going to get a job.
Yeah.
No one likes him personally, but he's technically a good coach.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of schools that would be happy with 8-4, 9-3. LSU's just not one of them. So he's going to get another job. But even if he doesn't, their mitigation also includes TV. So if he does anything related to football, coaching, administration, or TV, that salary gets removed from his buyout. I hope he does what other people do, which is like take less money so LSU has to pay him that money. But regardless, like LSU is going to save some of this money because especially with all of these jobs open already, he's going to get hired immediately.
Somewhere else. Yep.
So
I think
LSU
is not the place for him. James Franklin.
I would hire James Franklin, but I don't think they will.
Okay.
I don't think so either. That's why
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Which means so what's actually going to happen,
they're going to get Billy Napier, actually. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
They're going to get Lane Kiffin.
I was going to say Lane Kiffin.
LSU is a better job than Florida, who is
Yes.
probably going to get Lane Kiffin. And then Florida is going to get Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri because they wanted Lane Kiffin, and none of these schools want to hire James Franklin. And James Franklin might get the Missouri job.
Missouri.
A lot of people are talking about James Franklin
That'd be a
going to
downgrade for real.
Virginia. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about James Franklin going to Virginia, which I think is a downgrade, but I also like, not that all this matters, but like James Franklin as a recruiter, his best territory is Virginia. All of his best players on all of his teams have come from Virginia. So everyone basically like, it's the ACC, which doesn't have a power in it. You are probably the best recruiter of Virginia currently in the country. And you're the best coach that they've had in a very long time. They think that James Franklin's a builder. He built at Vanderbilt. He built people forget where Penn State was when he started. So like, I do think if he went to Virginia, they would be in the ACC championship and in the playoff within 3 years. Still probably not going to win national title, but like, I don't think that's their expectation. But I do think he's better than that. And if I were Florida or LSU, I would hire him, but I don't think either one will.
Yeah, I think what Brian Kelly did, in my opinion, as I was watching the game last night, it was a fireable offense. Like, A&M has not beat LSU since 1994. When you are breaking records such as that, and in the fashion in which
year.
At home since 1994. But in the fashion in which they won, I feel like that's what makes him fireable. Like, it just wasn't. It was just bad all around for LSU on both sides. The offense wasn't all that great, and the defense was abysmal. So it's just kind of like, dude, what's really going on? And let's be for real. LSU, the only reason why LSU was talking about giving them a chance is because they don't want to do that buyout. Because if they didn't have the buyout, he'd be out of there way before now.
Which their fault. Stop giving these people
Stop putting them on these exorbitant contracts. You gotta stop.
Why are we giving these people these buyouts?
You gotta stop, because I mean, it's the same thing with James Franklin.
And they all got it around the same time.
Yeah.
They all got 10-year, $85 to $95 million contracts, fully guaranteed. And now almost all of those coaches are getting fired. The only one who's going to survive is Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
And it's not because he shouldn't get fired. They're just not going. Like, USC's not going to fire him. Not this year. They took forever to fire Clay Helton. So like, all the other 10-year, $90+ million coaches I think they're all fired or close to it.
Yeah.
Except Kirby Smart.
Yeah. So
he got one, but
if we're
he got his off of 2 national championships.
Right, hello, he actually earned his. But that's what I'm just like, LSU would not even be like flapping gums with Brian Kelly if it wasn't for the fact that he had this big ass payout, because I wasn't a fan of even the way that he conducted himself yesterday as a head coach. Like, I just felt like he lost his cool completely in a way where it's like, if I'm playing for you, like, dude, I don't even know, like, if you're like stable. I hate to say it like that, but he was like not, like, you could just tell, like, he was really not at his best yesterday during that game. He was, So with that being said, there is a linebacker for LSU who has decided to sit until, things sort of pan out. I'm trying to remember what his name is. Harold Perkins, he said he will be sitting out for the rest of the 2025 season. He stated he needs to figure it out, when speculation is that he will be in the transfer portal and probably snatched up quite quickly, because he's one of the star linebackers, is he not?
Yeah.
So, there's already rumors of that. So we'll just have to see how the team actually pans out.
Yeah. See, that's a nice way of saying it. See who quits and who doesn't.
See who leaves and see who stays.
Yeah.
So, yes. And speaking of leaving and staying, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I just think it's like, this coaching cycle is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's one thing to say the jobs that are open, right? But you have to also consider the jobs that will open after that. Like, just talking about the big jobs, if we talk about it, right? It's Penn State, it's LSU, it's Florida. Let's just say, hypothetically, Lane Kiffin goes to LSU, Eli Drinkwitz goes to Florida. Now, Ole Miss and Mizzou is open.
Yeah.
They have to do that. If Matt Rule takes the Penn State job, now Nebraska's open. Like, it's just this sort of domino effect of all these jobs that are going to be open. And so that, I will save some of this for my 2-minute drill. But like, for anybody else, I think you may have to start questioning if you should fire your coach this year. just off the strength of one, you should
The
stop
others
paying these
that'll be
big ass
available.
buyouts. But
Yeah.
also, like,
Yeah.
are you going to get a good coach because of all these jobs that are going to get, like, you got to look at, like, if Nebraska opens, we already got Florida, LSU, and maybe Florida State and all these other jobs. If Nebraska opens, are they still going to be better than our job? If Mizzou opens, are they going to be better than our job? If Ole Miss open, like, yeah, it's interesting.
It's going to be a good time. Speaking of jobs, the NCAA said, hey, if you work in athletics or if you are a student athlete, guess what? You get to participate in sports betting starting on November 1st. This is very interesting. Because last week I actually wanted to bring up this news, but I didn't because they were just in talks. And I didn't want to talk about it because, and this is just like how the sausage is made in my head. I'm like, I don't want to do a news segment talking about this and then they don't actually make the decision. So I'm just going to wait because they're probably not going to decide on it. Like I literally in my head was like, the NCAA is not going to let that slide. Well, imagine my fucking surprise when I got the notification that they are actually letting it slide. And then that was the day before all the NBA stuff that I just cataloged not too long ago. So,
but some of this DBA stuff had already been out. Like Terry had already been arrested before. So had Gilbert Arenas.
No.
Like it.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, even what's his name? Jalen, the one from the Raptors.
There's so many Jalen and Jaden.
The one from the Raptors who got banned. He got banned last year. It's
Malik Beasley too. Like
Malik
there's a
Beasley,
lot of people.
What the frick is his name? I know his name. I'm about to get annoyed
I
because
can't think of his name either.
Well, why you look at his name?
Dante Porter. Dante Porter. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
He's a Toronto Raptor. Was because
Michael Porter Jr.'s older brother.
Yeah. Or cousin or somebody.
No, it's his brother for sure. I do know.
Oh,
that.
okay.
So, and I just think this is all crazy to me for a couple of reasons. And I'm going to do the higher ed thing. I'm going to do the whatever, right? You are giving, on top of all the sports betting and the crime and the FBI and all the things that are happening, right? You are giving 21, because you do have to be 21 for now, right? You are giving, I think you have to be 21. You are giving 21-year-olds who have the most money that they've ever had and let's be honest, don't really have a life. Like, they can party, they can do whatever sometimes, but like, especially in college, like, you're still on campus in the summer, like, all this stuff, right? They don't have a life like some other sport. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we see, like, you don't see college football players out like Juju Watkins. And this is not a judgment, but like, basketball, they got some time. Juju gets to go to these things and stuff like that. Like, you don't really see college football players do that because they're not as big. I'm not talking about in the off season. Like, and even if we don't say Juju, like Paige was out.
I'm like, they have larger brands than a lot of these players do.
Right. But it's also a time. It's also a time thing. Like,
it's time consuming.
No, it is college. They like, this is not a which is better than the other. Like, college.
I'm not saying better. I'm saying,
you
like,
don't
they
have
do
as much
have
free
time. They do
no,
have
they
the
don't.
time.
Yes,
No,
they don't.
They do.
No, they don't. They're literally.
They do.
They
Their brands
have
are
to be
not...
on. No, they have to be on campus in the summer. Like, they're there. They do not have that time. They don't.
Like, they got there's a few of them out there that's gotten some
I'm not saying they don't have
like that.
There's some college players that are out and about if their brands are big enough. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think this is still a branding thing too, but go ahead.
It's both, but they also don't have that time. It can be both and if you want to disagree, but they don't have the time that other athletes have. They just don't. It's how the sport works. But regardless, like, you're giving all these people who have all this money and not a whole lot of time, but can always be on their phone, access to just lose this money and create a fucking gambling addiction. There's already a big issue with players, specifically the men, because the women do better, specifically the men going pro and losing all their money, cars, clothes, jewelry, all this other kind of stuff. Now you're adding sports betting and you're giving them X number of more times and ways to lose money, and you're literally you're creating addicts. Like you are allowing them to be addicts.
They're trying to get them.
I mean,
literally.
I think that
I
think we can look at it from the context of all types of student athletes. We don't have to be football centric in the sense that, like, I think this will also affect athletes that aren't football players, like, in a different sort of way. Like, because if you are an athlete that's in a non-revenue generating sport, for example, if you're a swimmer or a diver or whatever, and you want to make some extra cash, well, now you have this as a outlet in order to do it. So I don't even feel like this affects a lot of those non-revenue
I'm not
generating
saying,
athletes.
And that's how we start getting in
Yeah.
that problem where if athletes are friends and things like that, now
or if they have friends that are in the pros or whatever, because that's very possible, especially these larger programs that draft, like OSU, for instance, Ohio State. I mean, there was 14 guys that got drafted. They have friends that are still in the team, or they have friends that are basketball players or whatever.
DJ
and
Stroud's not going to play. That's my homeboy. We were just on the game.
That's my friend. I'm going to take the unders on him, whatever the case is. And it's not even because
Livy Dunn told me that Paul Skeens isn't
this
playing.
This is a very slippery
whatever,
slope.
He's...
This, and also with the staff members too, if we take from the staff perspective, which I can speak to because I've worked for a team before, that is,
and we had the whole
I have
Michigan
friends in the NFL.
too.
I have friends in the NBA. I have friends that are W adjacent. I could be sitting there saying hey girl, and just maybe even casually talking to them, not even trying to get no information like that, but because you're cool, because you know people, or because staff members oscillate between professional and college sports so much.
Yes,
that could also be a problem as well. So I just don't think the NCAA really thought this, which they don't think things through anyway. But I'm just saying this particularly is crazy.
And not only that, because you have to think about the Chauncey Billups thing, right? Chauncey Billups is rich multiple times over. He was rich as a player. He's a Hall of Fame player, and he's making multiple $1 million as a coach. He didn't need this money. One thing that the Michael Francesi guy says all the time, he said gambling is bad for athletes because this is an extension of their competitive nature.
Yes.
It's not that they need the money. For most of them, it's not that they need the money. It is a competitive thing, and athletes are professional athletes in most cases are the biggest competitors. That's how you stay in that sport. And so you're doing this and you're putting it in 21-year-old minds. Chauncey Billups is fucking 40. He's a Hall of Famer. He's rich all over. There's gonna be a kid somewhere, basketball, wrestling, gymnastics, somewhere who's making fucking $75,000 because he's not even a star, and he's gonna lose all that money fucking betting. And he's gonna Ohio State. This is fucking random. But Ohio State kicked a kid off the team because he was doing weird things on TikTok, and he was a walk-on, and he was just doing weird stuff on TikTok and all this sort of stuff. And then during their playoff run, he was dropping videos he was on the team still, and the players got in the TikTok you're not on the team. He was basically dropping videos from previous years, basically trying to say this is what we're doing for the playoffs and that sort of stuff. I bring this up to say people like him, people like that, the walk-ons, all these other kind of things who now have a little bit of money and these sort of things, but aren't going to get rich off of it. You go oh yeah, I'm a walk-on, I'm a equipment staffer, I'm a coaching intern, and I walk past the fucking locker room and I see that star player X getting his ankle taped up. Star player X is in there crying.
Well, they can't bet on college.
She or they.
Well, they can't bet on college.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. But still, whatever. It's just fucking.
But still,
it's a weird thing to allow, considering how strict it has been. I mean, this is something we talked about in my master's program all the time. Is the fact that we used to talk about it. If I'm being honest, we used to say man, wish we could take the under on XYZ, but even as students, we weren't really allowed to participate because half of us worked for some team. We were a GA for some athletic program at the school. So we couldn't, I think I was one of the only people, because I don't actually work for athletics. If I wanted to, I could, but I still was kind of the ethics of being a staff person for any team, both professional and college, was you don't do that. That's just not what you do, especially when you have access to insider information, because it's cheating at that point. So it's just it's just a weird thing to allow, especially in this climate, because I agree with Jordan in the sense that, both of y'all in the sense that I am the biggest hater of the fact that the sports gambling companies are able to partner with the leagues and do all this other stuff. And it's just, it's continuing to obviously be a problem.
It opens it up now, because I'm not even paying attention. I probably should be. But are college games having these sports betting ads?
They don't have the sports betting ads, but you can put parlays on college. You can.
It's only a matter of time then.
Yeah. So that's why I'm you can do parlays on college. There was a big thing that was going on with the Junior World Series a couple months ago, because the people wanted to bet on the children, and you can't bet on the children. They're children. So
and one of one of the things that they were trying to do that I actually thought makes sense is that they were advocating for not allowing parlays on individual players. No, sorry, prop bets, not parlays. Prop bets.
Yeah.
On college, because if you can't bet on an individual player, there's less likely for a kid to be like, oh, I'm not going to play, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because that stuff comes in when you can say Terry Rozier minus 10 points, and they haven't passed it yet. But the worst, I think the saddest thing for me, because I'm very anti-betting, largely on the addiction end of it, I just think it's like horrible. The worst thing for me is you can't close the door, right? Like people, I know we weren't necessarily alive for this, but you hear the stories. What they had to do to ban sports betting and all of the things to get the laws where they were in place for a while was tough. Now all of these leagues are in partnerships. All of these athletes are in partnerships. All of these
They're
states,
in bed together now.
Literally,
And
Ohio,
so
super
quickly.
conservative state.
It was fast.
These
it was.
states, and one of the things that allowed them to redo it is the states putting the taxes on it, because they realized there's a lot of conservative states, and sorry for rambling, there's a lot of conservative states who did two things. They allowed sports betting and they allowed legal marijuana, not because they believed in them, but because they saw how much money that they would make because of how they could tax them. Ohio being one of them, because Ohio still hates that they passed legal marijuana. They have so many like fucking weird restrictions
Texas
around
is
it.
like holding firm against that,
so
but they were real quick with sports betting. Texas is like, absolutely, here.
You can't shut this off now. Like it's going to take another 30, 40, 50 years to get this shut off, if it's ever going to be shut off.
Especially with how accessible it is now.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, you used to have to go into a sports book. You used to have to call someone. It's on your phone. Like, it's just...
It's bad. It's really bad. And not to belabor the point of...
Your
and
laptop,
not to...
your iPad is...
And not to belabor the point of sports betting, but yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate because you know how bad it can get for people, and it's like, how do we like start to mitigate that? Like, I'll never forget. I watched the I watched the, what is it? The Club Shay Shay that what's his name? Charles Barkley did, and he talked about like. Sponsored by Prize Picks. And he talked about his gambling addiction and how he, like, the most money he lost in a night was $100,000. And it was one of those things where, like, he finally ended up having, like, this wake-up call about, like, that it's just not worth... Like, he realized that he, like, hated losing, I think, more than he loved winning. And he really just spoke a lot about, like, to your point, Jordan, like, the actual competitive part of it. Like, it was so much less about, like, the actual money or all of that. So at the end of the day, there is a hotline. If you have a gambling problem and you do need help, it's 1-800-522-4700, because we don't want people to be addicted. And, you know, the way that the addiction works is you put your money in, you get a dopamine hit when you win, and then you continue to chase that high. So it's just, you don't ever want to get stuck in a cycle. So please get yourself some help if you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's legitimately as addictive as drugs and alcohol. Like, it is like
it's the same brain chemistry
problem. It's just...
And in other news, if you put in promo code get the fit, no, I'm just playing.
If you put in GD Sports 25, you'll get a free $50 parlay. Oh,
for
my
every
God.
$5.
Oh my God.
But no, for real, bro. That's how they fucking sound. Oh my God,
no,
bro.
I saw somebody
like, people
said it.
on
They
ESPN
were like,
are like, oh, they're so stupid and they're dumb and they and then the first commercial is fucking ESPN bets.
It's the first one. It's like, oh, and here's my picks for the, you know, blah blah blah. Here's the spread. It's bad. It's not great.
It's crazy. When it comes to the NBA, and this is like the last thing, but when it comes to the NBA, it's like, during the TNT segments and stuff like that, the ESPN segments, coming back from halftime, they do those little prop bets and give their guesses on what they think is going to happen right when the second half starts. And I'm like, bro, what did you expect? Like, what if they know stuff like that is going down? Of course, like, there's so many poor people in this country. Come on now.
I'm saying.
Oh my gosh, 44% of Americans.
That's why the lottery is so big.
Yeah.
That's why the lottery is so big. They're literally
lottery, scratcher tickets, all of that. Yeah. What is it called? What do you used to call them? Scratch offs.
Scratch offs.
Yeah.
I have people. And I know, Dante, this has happened to you too. I have people, men, women, and others, who I know don't watch football, who I
Oh,
know
same.
have never watched football, who I know wouldn't even listen to this podcast, had my entire life made fun of me, called it sports ball, all these other kind of things. And I have people who fucking text
all
me
the time reach out
about
to me.
their parlay.
Yes. Oh, that was the other thing too. Speaking of parlays, well, obviously we're talking about this. One of the top tier weirdo behaviors, and I'm saying this on the internet so that way we can clip it. Top tier weirdo behavior. If your parlay don't hit, do not get in that fucking athlete's DMs and comments talking to them about their fucking parlay. Because I also do believe that the athletes have been placed in a very vulnerable position where now they get more hate or they get more criticism or they get more negative attention if they don't hit certain numbers because people are not hitting their parlays. Jaylen Brown even talks about this, where it's like,
and everyone,
that's fucked up. Like, leave these athletes alone.
And everyone, knock on wood, because I don't want to be the one to say it, but it is real. There is going to be it is a very real possibility that someone loses their fucking house and their family and all these other kind of things and tries to get physically or other violent with an athlete.
Yes.
Because of their fucking like people are deranged, they lose their mind. Like that sort of stuff happens. Like you are legitimately putting these athletes at risk
in danger
by doing this.
Yes.
Because it only takes one person. It only takes one person for the DM
Again,
to be
the
real life
mafia
action.
is involved. The mafia is involved.
The mafia. La Cosa Nostra.
Like they're in danger.
Yeah. It's not it's not good.
And it is not that the mafia is involved. It is that 4 of the 5 families are involved, and that never happens.
No, they hate each other.
I can send you the clip that you can see it. That never happens. They talked about it on the thing. The only time that this ever happens that the families join up is when it's something that is so big that they just like it's just like
they can't pass
basically
it up.
They said they did it with concrete. Like when New York was doing all the rebuilding and stuff like that, all the mob was in concrete because they were making so much money. It would have just essentially led to too much violence and too many things. So they just split it. They're like Sammy the Bull basically said there are like 2 or 3 times in history he can think of there's something so big that all of the families were involved. And this time it's only 4 instead of the 5. But he said that's never happened in gambling. The dude is in his 80s. He's basically one of the founders of it in America. Like he's pretty like into it. He said it has never happened with gambling. Gambling is always something that they've done individually. And he said 2 or 3 times he can think of something where all the families or the majority of the families work together. 4 of the 5 families were involved in this. This is huge. This is not just, like to Dante's point, this is not just the NBA. Like
this is a big because there's no way it doesn't spill over into other sports. There's no way that the poker ring is not happening from the NFL perspective too, or MLB or whatever. Like this could very well be a larger operation that the NBA leg of just got caught first. Like this could be a lot bigger. I wouldn't be surprised. And also the FBI needs something to distract us with, and to distract us from the fact that the Epstein files still have not been released. I'm on your ass. Well, but anyway,
and the FBI the FBI works with snitching. The FBI works with snitching.
From what I heard through the grapevine, Chauncey Billups is low key. Chauncey Billups is low key going to be the canary that's singing, is what I've heard.
I was gonna say, if you're an NBA player or a former NBA player, you should be. This is about the mafia. You should be.
Say names.
You should be.
Say the names.
I know it's dangerous and all, but like you probably should be.
If you're going to prison anyway, like I mean, why the hell not? Like,
because I think
Terry
Rozier is going to see some time. I believe. I think he's going to.
Of course,
yeah,
he has to.
I think I saw some things that like they said Terry Rozier and like Chauncey Billups might see like NFL numbers. Like they might see like some double digits. Like they might see some.
Chauncey might
and Damon Jones, because Damon Jones was involved in both too. So and he's been arrested as well. So it's not looking too good. But we will keep you guys updated on that because we've been yapping for 45 minutes about the goddamn news. So moving on to the power sweep.
And we gonna sweep. We gonna sweep.
I can get on SMU and wake real fast. I ain't got nothing to say.
we have to. All right. All right. USF Memphis. Memphis beats USF 34-31. This is big because Memphis is in this is fighting for that spot in the playoff, but they just lost to UAB, who is a bad team. So everyone was down on them, and then they beat USF, who everyone thought was the front runner. So it sort of just opens up their conference race for the American, and that conference is most likely going to be the one, not the American. Whatever it is, whatever the conference is, that
they're not in the American.
There's so many of them.
I think it's American because Memphis was in the conference we came from.
It is. Oh yeah, it is the American, not Conference USA. The American.
Yes.
Who the winner of the American Conference most likely going to get the spot. So this was huge for that. Ole Miss, Oklahoma.
That was a good game. That was a fun game.
We don't have anything to say about USF
in a
Miami.
way.
Memphis.
Yeah. It was that. No, that's the game I just talked about.
I know. I'm saying me and Dante don't have anything to say.
Oh yeah, Ole Miss.
No.
Good game. Yeah, that's it. I mean, but and the race, as we like to say here on the Power 2 podcast, the race to 9-3 has begun. It is in full steam, and Oklahoma better hope that they stop at 9-3 because they were winning because their defense was great in the beginning of the year. And it's so funny because literally last week Dante was like, Oklahoma's defense not that good, and I'm like, nah, they have like the second best defense in the country because for most of the season they did, and then just to make me look stupid, they played like shit.
That was so funny.
So if that's
that was
how
so funny too.
I mean,
that was so funny too because I was watching the game and I was like, "Wow, this is a shit defense." Like I'm like,
right. And it's so crazy because for most of the season they were literally putting up historic numbers. Like they were putting up.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I saw the cracks. I could see the cracks. I was like, this is a slippery slope for Oklahoma. And if I know how Oklahoma plays,
and there's the slope.
Yeah.
But that was a fun game.
Trinidad Chambliss also just had himself a game. Trinidad Chambliss threw for 315 yards and a touchdown. He also rushed for 53 yards. You know, his footprints were definitely on that dub for LSU. Ole Miss. Speaking of footprints, there were lots of my footprints on the way out of that Wake Forest stadium after watching the SMU Wake Forest game. It was easily the hardest football game I've ever watched in my life, both in person and on television. And I'm a Cowboys fan, so just put that into perspective. It was horrific. It was horrific to sit and watch an offense that allegedly is so productive produce absolutely nothing. We could not purchase a first down. We could not purchase a run longer than 1.5 yards. We could not purchase a screen pass. We couldn't purchase any passing, really. We couldn't purchase offense. There was no offense. And it made the Wake Forest defense look so good. And it was like, bro, Wake Forest defense is not like, it's not that it sucks, but it's not stop SMU good. So I'm just kind of like, okay, like we were our own enemy in that game. Our defense was fine. Towards the end, it was questionable at best. Our secondary is booty cheeks. It has been for a while.
You get tired after a while.
And you get tired of, when it's always the amount of times that the PA announcer said, Demon Deacons, it's third down. I swear to God, if I never hear that again, it'll be too soon. Because again, back to the not being able to purchase offense. So imagine my surprise when we are up 12-10. And it's like, okay, like, it was ugly, but we made it here. We're up 12-10. The Wake Forest fans are walking out because there's like a minute or whatever left in the game. I'm like, bye. Thank y'all so much for coming. Oh, yes. Enjoy the drive home. Figure out that oxymoron that is a demon deacon. What the fuck is that? So then they get the ball back. They get a long pass. Now they're in field goal range. And now I'm watching the ball go through the uprights with 4 seconds left in the game.
What is SMU now? What's the record?
We are, that was our second loss? No, okay. That might have been our third. No, that's not true. We've only lost twice. We lost to Baylor and we lost to... That might have been our only... Hold on, I'm sorry. I should know this off the top of my head. I am horrible. I should know this. No, that's our third loss. So it's just not looking too good. And one thing that's kind of to Jordan's point, the whole like looking stupid thing, like we had bragged all week about the fact that we had the longest active streak in conference play. We won 20 straight conference games. So Wake Forest obviously broke that streak, which is not great. Yeah, because we're counting the conference games we won in the American as well. We're counting them on top of ACC.
Yeah.
So now we're 5-3. We're 3-1 in the ACC. Our pathway to the ACC championship just got that much harder, and we have to win out if we have even a chance at the playoffs, which right now is not looking too good because, yeah. It's just not great. Anyways, it was horrific. Being there as the away team was not great. And it was barely the field goal was like barely through. So I have a video I posted on TikTok that it was like of us cheering because the way that the ball arched down, it looked like it wasn't going to make it through the uprights. And so we then started cheering and then it went through and then the whole team just ran on the field and then they started cheering and I was just like, yo, get me out of the stadium. Anyways, back to SB versus Wake Forest. So yeah, it was a pretty horrific experience. 0 out of 10. Would hate to experience it again. And we play Miami this week.
Which means you're going to beat Miami.
And Miami looked
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So we should beat them, but if we lose to Miami, we're screwed.
Pretty good.
So we are well and truly screwed.
Mizzou Vanderbilt. This was an awful game. And it's so disappointing because we had Diego Pavia and
this was an awful game. It was very low scoring.
I texted my friend, I was like, oh, we're about to get 150 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns combined just by the two quarterbacks. Like, it's going to be fun, shootout, whatever. It was awful. Like, straight up, straight down. And then to make matters worse for Mizzou, which on top of the fact that they're probably about to lose their head coach, they have 2 back-to-back. So they have a drive. They get down to the 1 or whatever. 4th down, they run a stupid play, don't score, lose their quarterback. He gets injured. He's done for the season. Because they're on the 1, Vandy goes nowhere. They punt the ball.
Damn.
They get the ball down at like the 50. They get back to the red zone. They have 4 plays from like the 10. And then they miss a field goal because their field goal kicker is injured. So they have a walk-on true freshman kicking because their field goal kicker is injured. So they have 3 plays. They get down to the 10. They don't get it. He misses like a 30-yard field goal. So they have 2 drives where they have essentially a total of 8 plays inside the 10-yard line, 0 points. Vanderbilt goes and scores immediately, and that's the game. So they lost the game. They lost their quarterback.
Diego Pavia.
Yeah. Tough.
Not looking good for Mizzou.
Oh my God.
It's very tough for Mizzou. Diego Pavia looked good again, which I do believe I said that he looked great last week. So thanks for not making me look stupid. Yeah. But this was also the same game that ended on they had a catch, but it was like it didn't break the plane, right? Like Mizzou could have came back. Was that the same? Am I thinking?
Yeah, it would have sent it to overtime.
Didn't that happen?
They caught a Hail Mary.
So I mean, Mizzou was right there.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, which is my gosh, what a horrible way! What a horrible way to end.
Crazy.
I feel for because that receiver, I think he pretty much had made the decision like they weren't going to lose that game. Excuse me, I don't remember his name, but he caught like most of the passes towards the end of the game to try to continue, Mizzou's comeback. So I hate that for him because if we're being honest, that really is a matter of body control, and when you are vetted in the game, you become more aware of where you are located so that way you can turn around and break the plane and things like that. So that's just I hate to say it, like a rookie mistake, but that's just one of those things that like it comes with time as a receiver when you become more aware of where your body is. So, I hate that for him, but,
Yeah. Bama, South Carolina. Bama tried to lose this game. They tried really
they tried their hardest.
This game. And South Carolina said
they wanted nothing more than a loss.
Said, please, sir, please win the game, please. No. Like, if you wouldn't mind. And so ultimately,
more saying like I think they eventually went. Like, nah, I guess.
Oh, I'm not even sure that's what happened.
They do know how to play football. Let's just go ahead.
South Carolina's running back literally just handed them the ball. He was just like, "Well, I don't want this anymore," and that's how they won the game. Like, it was literally like it wasn't like. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't even remember it as a play where it's like, "Oh, damn, the defense made a great play and took the ball from him." He was just like, "Here you go." Here's the rock.
He was like, "Oops, sorry."
I thought it was a rip out. Was it not a rip out? He didn't rip it out.
We could not confirm or deny
I don't even know
if the ball was ripped out or if he handed it to the defense for fun.
It was like, here, oh my gosh,
he was
you're
playing
welcome.
hot potato with the ball. Bama gets the win.
Yeah, but
and yeah.
I didn't watch this next game. Sorry.
And
the turn, the
turn of the worst thing that could happen to me, Washington gets dog walked by Michigan and then turns around and decides to be a good team again and beats Illinois. And it's like you put up 7 points against Michigan and then immediately drop 42 points against Illinois. What the fuck is going on? Like, and so we are going to have 9-2 Michigan with a spot in the playoffs on the line in Ann Arbor against Ohio State because none of these teams who are actually better than Michigan are beating them. Michigan's quarterback Sorry, we're not even talking about the Michigan game, but Michigan beat Michigan State today, and their quarterback had 80 yards passing. This is like the third time Michigan has won a game where their quarterback has had less than 100-yard passing. These teams just won't fucking win. Washington destroys Illinois.
How are you winning games with that?
7.
Run the ball and play
7.
defense. I'm trying to tell you, it can win you games
Their defense
regardless.
isn't even that good. Not like it was previously. Washington put up
Run the ball
7
and play defense.
points.
Jordan is
Good
very
enough
upset.
to
7
good enough to
points.
win games.
And then the next week put up 42 on Illinois. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Remember when at the beginning of the year when we were talking about how we didn't understand that Tracker or whatever kept putting Michigan in the playoffs, and here fucking is.
They're gonna be because none of these people fucking beat them. They're gonna be in the Ohio State game, and if they beat Ohio State, they're gonna make the playoffs. Jesus Christ.
Very screwed.
They beat Ohio State, dog. If they beat
Ohio State, we gotta cut the cameras.
Texas,
we actually do.
I promise you. Listen.
Like we would have to.
Listen.
Ryan Day
has already under enough pressure in grad school. I love this podcast and I do it, but it's a struggle sometimes. If we lose to, that might be I know I've been joking for years that if we lose, I'm going to quit the podcast. I'm probably going to quit the podcast if we lose to Michigan. Like, I may put in my 2 months notice so we can get through the national championship.
And we will see you next week anyway.
But like, no, you think I'm playing. I have good enough.
Not 2 months.
I will probably get through the national championship. But yeah, dog, if we lose to Michigan, bro, you might not be seeing me. I can't keep doing this, bro. Y'all can't keep doing this to me.
I'm screaming.
I got homework to do, and y'all losing to fucking Michigan.
Speaking of not seeing someone, Texas won't be seeing Arch Manning for a little bit because he got injured in the Texas-Mississippi State game. And then they went to overtime. Texas did end up winning, but this is now the second week in a row that Texas has gone to overtime with a nobody-ass football team. No shade to Kentucky or Mississippi State, but we have to be real.
Well, look,
what the fuck is going on in Texas?
I'll take it like this. With what happened, Texas and Penn State pretty much had the exact same start to the season.
Yeah.
And I'll say, it's concerning, but at least Texas didn't give up and are still winning their games, where Penn State just said, fuck it.
Yeah, they are winning.
Yeah.
There is winning. But yeah, so Arch Manning is going to be out for, we don't really know how long. He does have a concussion. So, the most generational quarterback that we've ever seen in our lives, the best person to ever pick up a football.
Next week.
Depending
on what happens next week, is when we'll figure out if Archie is coming back or not. If they lose next week, Archie.
So here's the thing. I don't know how to say this because I understand that football is a dangerous sport. So I want to be clear when I say this. I am not making fun of the kid. I'm not. Arch Manning is the most fragile 6'4", 220-pound-year-old I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I'm telling you, he got hit once in the Ohio State game and was out of the game. He got hit this game, he's out of the game. Football is tough. I'm not talking shit about him, for whatever. I'm just saying, it is crazy for him to be as big as he is. He's legit 6'4", 225. And he's fragile.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting for Texas. I don't even know who their backup quarterback is.
Some fifth-year senior.
I'm not aware. I'm not even trying to be funny. I don't know who he is. So we're just gonna have to see how that goes. Who does Texas play next? I don't even know. Are they on a bye? They might be on a bye, or have they already had their bye? I don't know. I'm looking. Hold on. They play. They play Vanderbilt next, so they need to come with their big boy boxes on. So we're just gonna have to see how all that goes. The race to 9-3 continues.
I would imagine, and I'm guessing here because they do have a bye week after this game. I would imagine he doesn't play, so he gets this week and the bye week to heal, and then he comes back for Georgia.
Mm.
That's what I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
If he can come back.
Yeah,
that's if he can.
Houston, Arizona State. Houston is the best team that no one's talking about. Not best national championship. It's just the best good team that no one's talking about. I think they have one loss, and they're just a
great team that we're not talking about.
They just keep walking through the teams that people thought were going to win the Big 12, and they still haven't been getting talked about. So Houston beats Arizona State 24-16, and Houston is basically Houston is just saying like, hey,
Arizona State did try to come back though.
Don't talk about the Big 12 without us. We have a say in the Big 12 title race. So,
we'll have to mention. And they was talking about I was watching the game after this, and they were talking about Houston a lot of that game.
Yeah, because Houston basically dominated. They went 24-0, and then Arizona State kind of remembered to play football again, and then they tried to come back, but it was really all Houston for the majority of the game. Connor Wegman, he ran for 2 touchdowns, threw for another one, and then their tight end Tanner Kazio. I can't say that young man's name. Their tight end, he had 100 yards receiving. So
Angela G. Oh, y'all got some names on this motherfucker. Shamalan God. Angela G.
I can't say names today.
Yo.
I can't say Rosier. I can't say his last name. My name is Prince Bapalapa Shamalama Ding Dong. Sorry. But yeah, that says a lot more about Houston than it does about Arizona State, although Arizona State did just suffer their 3rd loss of the season and their 2nd Big 12 loss. So they are not top 3 in the Big 12 anymore, I don't believe. I think it's Houston, Texas Tech, BYU. And somebody else.
BYU. BYU's undefeated.
Utah. Oh, BYU? BYU. They are undefeated. This is their 1st or 2nd time starting a season this well. This might be their 1st time starting at 8-0. But shout out to BYU because they were smacking ass and taking names. We're just not talking about that game.
Yep.
But
and,
yes, speaking of smacking ass and taking names.
Speaking of the other, the other side of the holy war. I only put this on here, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just put this on here because I just seen the craziest stat I've ever seen in my entire life. So Utah wins this game 53-7. At halftime, I didn't believe this. I literally had to look at the score because I thought this was fake.
Oh.
At halftime, Colorado had 0 points. Right,
Yeah,
hold on.
it's
That's not the
43-0.
part I'm talking about. That's not the part That's not the part I'm talking about.
Yep, 0.
And negative 18 yards.
Negative 18 yards.
Utah had 43 points and 398 yards and a half. They had 408.
Yes. I watched it. Yeah. I watched it. Yes, they did.
I watched it as well.
Yes.
I saw all 398 of those yards.
Boy, that is a ass whooping if I've ever seen one.
It was bad.
Good.
It was so demoralizing. I felt so bad for Deion. And I was even thinking about it because I was watching it.
No, go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say is I was watching it and I was like, damn, I really would hate to be the players after Shedeur and Travis. Like, you got to come and be this team that just had the Heisman winner on there, and now you're not as good. Like, it just is what it is. You're not as good. Deion, unfortunately, is not as present as he was prior because of all of his health issues and all of that, and you got to try to put something together. And then Utah, coming off of the high that they're coming off of, they didn't win the Holy War, but it's not like they played bad. Jesus Christ. That's what I was talking about, though. Like, Utah's offensive scheme is very difficult to defend. Like, especially when you have so many mobile linemen that can get out in front and block for the runners and things like that. Utah's hard to beat just in general, but with Colorado already having the issues that they have, it's just like, it just made it worse. Like, it was bad.
And there was a point in time, like, before the half, I think it was like maybe a little under 2 minutes to go. Colorado gets nothing going. I think they run the ball to try to run the clock out. Utah goes timeout. I was like, yo, let's get out of here. Like,
it's time to go, Utah.
And they did it, like, they used all 3 of their timeouts at certain points to get the ball back and scored right after getting the ball back.
Utah was not playing. Utah said, "We do not care who you are. We are going to play as if we are losing." Like,
and it's not like these weren't drives either. 2-3 plays, touchdown. Like,
insane.
It was bad. I'm
pretty sure that Utah was playing a true freshman quarterback.
Terrible way to end.
Like, I'm pretty sure their quarterback was injured and they were playing a true freshman.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, you're correct. Yep.
So this is not even like the first string. This is like, no shade, because they obviously did well, but like, it's just, Colorado is not, mind you, I don't think anybody thought Colorado was going to come out and be like a contender anyways. Like, I just think the question was like the continuity of it all. But Yeah, Dion lost his shit a couple of times on that sideline, so it
Yeah,
just
he did.
it's not
Yeah, he
looking
did.
it's not looking too good. He was really losing it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the power sweep.
2-minute drill. I'm gonna skip one. I'm just gonna say, because I've already sort of mentioned it. Should you fire your coach? At this point, LSU, Florida, Penn State, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Stanford, Oregon State, Colorado State, UAB, and Kent State are open. At this point, I'm really starting to wonder, like, especially with the buyouts and all the other things, should you fire your coach? Like if you like, can you wait a year? I'm no bullshit. Like, if you're Florida State, right? Do you need to fire Mike Norvell right now? Like, and Auburn's probably going to open. So but honestly, if you're Auburn, do you have to open right now? Like, do you really want to go up against LSU, Florida, and Penn State? Like, do you like I think these coaches, they really should think critically on if they really want to fire their coach after all of these jobs are being open. With all of these jobs open, the question is, should you fire your coach? Especially because, like, are you gonna pay $40 million, $50 million, $35 million to be like the fifth best job on the market? Like, again, like Florida State, I get it. You might not want Mike Norvell. Are you going to pay $50 million to be the fifth best job on the market? That could, like, fall. I mean, Florida State's probably going to be better than Ole Miss and Mizzou if they open up later, but still, like, it's just something to think about. I wonder if anyone's going to think about that. But anyways, the last quick. We do. I mean, it was my brand for years. So, I have a question for you two. What is your personal top 3? And I say this because, like,
oh dear,
Penn State is probably one of the best jobs available. You couldn't pay me enough money to live in State College. Don't like it, especially, like, because if hypothetically I could get the Penn State job. Listen, if hypothetically I could get the Penn State job, that means I could get other jobs. So yes.
You mean to tell me $50 million wouldn't have you move?
I'm not moving out to State College. I've been there once, and it was enough for me to know that that's not a place I want to live. I want to look at it from, like, I'll look at it from the perspective of the actual job itself. Honestly, I think that at this point, the best job is LSU, because not only does LSU have the brand, right? It has the SEC. You are part of the SEC, which means you have a higher potential to get a playoff spot, because the SEC almost always has 4 teams in the playoff. Then you also have the actual talent pool. LSU is one of the only conference teams that doesn't actually have real competition within the state. So a lot of their talent comes from New Orleans and Baton Rouge and things like that. So if you're a good recruiter, the best players are in your backyard, and they want to go to LSU. They don't want to go to other states. So I think LSU is the best job at the moment. Penn State is the best job as far as, like,
I still think it's
accessibility again to the playoff and the talent,
LSU's
but locationally, obviously, it's not always that great.
LSU's better than.
But LSU is the best job. LSU is the best job. Like, period. LSU is the best job. I guess if you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you said top 3 though, right? So I'm saying LSU is 1, Penn State is 2, and then Florida is probably the 3rd one, because Florida also kind of has a similar
Auburn's not open yet.
Situation to LSU.
I think I might put Florida and Auburn ahead. But yeah, if it becomes open, I think I would put those above Penn State, because James Frank, I don't think Penn State, while is been a successful team for much longer than those 2 schools, I think Auburn and Florida can still generate more talent after a different regime is going to these schools.
Yes. Penn State is who Penn State is, low-key, because of James Franklin, which is why it's kind of like, who is Penn State really going to be now that they don't have one of the best recruiters in the game? Because you have to be a good recruiter to get kids to go to State College.
The whole thing would happen with, like, Nick Saban in Alabama. At a very lesser scale, it would be with Penn State and James Franklin.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing with Geno and UConn. Like, how are you getting kids to go to stores? It's because it's one of the best programs there, and it's because of what Geno built. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see Penn State becoming a destination now that James Franklin is not.
I think people aren't understanding that.
The head coach. So,
I think it's going to be a much more difficult time at it than those other schools, especially someone like Florida.
Yeah, I think people are not understanding that. My 3rd job, and this is if I was hypothetically going to get $9 million a coach, it would be UCLA. Because it's California. and I would rather live there than Penn State. And I think the right person could make. Yeah, I would. I think,
love how
first
his
of all,
initial
like,
thing
my
is like
wife,
where I want to live.
yeah, but I do think that the right person could make
it's real.
UCLA
It's real.
a winner, and I'm not saying that I'm the right person. I'm not in coaching anymore, but I just think there's some like very basic things that no one at UCLA has done, and it drives me fucking crazy. Like, for example, the quarterback who's currently at fucking Cal Berkeley, is from California and didn't have a UCLA offer until late. There's no way Cal Berkeley should be able to have a better quarterback than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much talent, and especially on offense in California and Arizona, that yes, the guys going to Oregon, area. But you should get everybody else. It's why Cincinnati's good. Like, I look at it like I view Cincinnati. Cincinnati is always the second best. Yeah. Cincinnati is so good, and we're not talking about them because they get everyone who doesn't go to Ohio State. Like, sometimes they win the battle, right? Sometimes they win the battle against Ohio State, but a lot of times they don't. But they stay good because they have a good recruiting base. Ohio, like, and so, like, yeah, I would take UCLA. I think the right person could win at UCLA. And I just think that, like, they just hired fucking idiots. So yeah, I agree. Whatever.
I do think your timing is very interesting that you're asking us to rank the jobs, because ESPN actually just released. I was just going to say, ESPN literally just released an article not even 30 minutes ago ranking the jobs available for the college football. And actually, UCLA, they rank UCLA as the 8th best job available. So that's very interesting that you have them in your top 3. So the ranking that ESPN released was number 1, LSU, number 2, Penn State, number 3, Florida. Number 4, Oklahoma State.
Virginia Tech 5, is out. Okay.
Virginia Tech.
No.
Yep. Number 6, Arkansas. Yes. Number 7, Stanford. Number
Stop it.
8,
Stop
UCLA.
it. Stop it.
Number 8, UCLA.
No. Stanford's done a better job than UCLA.
Yeah. Yes. And their rationale, they put it into, they broke it off into a few different categories. They broke it out into on-field performance, access to college football playoff, roster building, and university leadership. University leadership and financial support were the tiers.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no way in hell that Stanford's a better job than UCLA, nor is Oklahoma State. Like I get that they're probably doing some like previous history performance bullshit, but like, no. Like, and I know UCLA is higher on my personal ranking than they should be in general, but there are multiple jobs on that list that's not better than UCLA. It's fucking, especially because you're talking about access to the playoffs. No,
I think it's interesting. Oklahoma State is 4th.
I think the Oklahoma State thing is, it has to be because they're in the Big 12, but that's not a good job.
Further down, but it's part of it. They said that 2 things can be true. I was talking too much. I don't even want to read all that. Basically, yeah, the being able to contend in the Big 12 is a drawing factor for Oklahoma State, because the Big 12 doesn't have historically successful programs in it like the SEC does and things like that. So, and the Big 10. So it's like any given year you could win the Big 12 if you play your cards right at any given school, which I think eventually is going to make the Big 12 jobs that much more interesting, right? Because if I really want to win a conference and make it to a playoff, I think I'd rather go to a Big 12 school at this point than a Big 10 school, not OSU or Michigan, or SEC school, not LSU or Bama, or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and for me, that makes sense for
like,
Virginia Tech.
Actually have a chance.
I just think that's a bad case for Oklahoma State. I just don't think the other things around Oklahoma State make that true, but whatever. It's ESPN. Yeah. They don't know anything but sports betting and gambling and addiction. Yeah. Fucking.
They try to get the news out.
Yeah, because we keep having fucking connectivity issues.
Screenplay?
So let's not test this for too much longer. Screenplay, noon, Penn State, Ohio State. This game is on here because I am definitely fucking afraid that Penn State's gonna beat us for the first time in like 10 years just because they fired James Franklin. Like, I'm like so fucking like I'm just like
going on.
It's probably not gonna happen. I hope it's because of the drama. Happen. Knock on all the goddamn wood in the world, but yeah. So that's on there. Vanderbilt, Texas, because that game matters.
Yeah.
Especially for the 9-3 SEC
Ooh, this
race.
is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Well, for
and
Vandy.
then Miami, SMU. because this also like neither one of these teams can take a second loss. Yeah, and I think that like
playoff implications.
All these teams are fucking dumb. So SMU's gonna lose to Wake Forest and then beat Miami. Like I just feel it. Yeah.
Just like Miami lost to Louisville, I don't think that I think that with our loss to Wake Forest, that was a very uncharacteristic version of SMU. That is not how SMU plays football normally. And so I think Coach Lashley very much is where, like, if I'm being honest with you, I think that even as a fan, we had a very lax attitude about what we can do in Wake Forest. So I wouldn't be surprised if even the athletes themselves, they're young, of course, they probably had a lax attitude about it too. Like, oh, it's Wake Forest, like, whatever. They haven't been contenders in the ACC since the early 2000s. Like, nobody cares. Like, we're just going to come in here, do this shit real quick, go home. I think that's kind of, I mean, if I'm being honest, even from a staff standpoint, we were like talking about, because we hadn't gotten game time for Miami yet because we were flexed because there was potential of college game day and all these other things. And it was because, like, in our heads, we were like, well, we're both playing these nobody teams this week, so we can't even use this week as an indicator as to what our game time is going to be. And it's like, well, actually, I think that loss to Wake bit us in the ass a little bit in that way because Miami did what they needed to do this week against Stanford, but we didn't. It's just, there was a lot of conversation about, like, how much we were just like, whatever, it's Wake Forest. And now look at us. So this is a must-win game for SMU if we want to still be in the conversation for the playoffs, as well as for ACC championship title. ACC
midday,
game.
Fresno, Boise. I think that's going to be a fun game. It does not have as much implications for the college football playoffs because these teams keep losing, but I still think it's going to be a good game. And then Georgia, Florida, because I'm just wondering if Florida's defense does the thing again where they make it hard on an offense that's not amazing, and if they can do it. Because I just don't think Georgia's been that impressive. It could be a blowout. Like, I mean, it could be. You never know with this fucking Florida team. But, like, I'm just wondering. I'm just thinking. And this is the first job. This is the first game without Billy Napier. So
what are the vibes?
Who knows?
Good times. In the evening, we have USC and Nebraska.
This is an elimination game. Whoever has the third loss.
Nebraska.
Yeah. Both of these teams have 2 losses. Both of these teams are outside contenders for the 4th Big Ten playoff spot, if there is to be one this year, if any of them end up in 10-2. This is even bigger for USC because if USC wins this game and then they upset Oregon, which does not look impossible, they're definitely going to make the playoffs. Nebraska could go 10-2 just because the rest of their schedule is pretty easy. But yeah, so, and I just think it's also going to be a good game. Last year's game I think was really good too.
It was entertaining. Yeah. Then we got the Boomer Sooners against Tennessee. Back to the original conversation of the race to 9-3.
There's this like conversation around Tennessee where it's like, oh, they have 2 losses, but they've only lost to Georgia and Alabama or something like that. So maybe they're they're gonna win out. So this will be the game to see. If I don't think they're good, but this will be the game to see if they're even decent because they need to beat Oklahoma. I mean, they have to win out to get to the playoffs. So
yeah. And then after dark, we have Cincinnati and Utah, which is going to be really, really fun because back to our original point, Cincinnati is looking too good. Utah is also looking too good. And I also think just in general, it's just going to be an electrifying, entertaining game. But they're both in the Big 12. Nope, I'm making that up, aren't I?
No. Yes, they are.
Cincinnati's in the Big 12.
Yes, they are. No, they're in the Big 12.
They are. Did I just make that up? Okay. So they're both in the Big 12. So that's also has implications as far as the Big 12 rankings go. Because still to this day, I don't think any of us are going to be able to pinpoint who's going to be in the Big 12 championship game as of right now. So those are the vibes. That is it.
Yeah. Yes,
watch the football, people.
Please do. Last 2-minute report is so we can fucking try to have a podcast. My last 2-minute report is apologizing to DJ for having to edit this fucking shit show of a podcast. My last 2-minute report is that the Colts 7-1.
Your team is 7-1.
That's it. I can't deny that they're not good. So
okay. And I'm going to give my 2-minute report, which is that ESPN has been dethroned by both NBA on NBC as well as NBA on Prime. The coverage is immensely better on that side of things. And I'm just very excited that I don't have to listen to Stephen A. and Kendrick Perkins talk about basketball anymore. So, because I've lost both of my co-hosts, we're going to end the show right here. Thank you all so much for listening to Power 2 Podcast. We will see you guys next week. Bye.